Are there other options for staying connected to the internet while you're traveling besides cellular, Wi-Fi, and satellite? Hi, I'm Jen with the Mobile Internet Resource Center, and in most of our material, we cover the pretty obvious ways to stay connected while you're traveling, which would be cellular, Wi-Fi, and satellite. But there are some other options that you can try if you're willing to think a little bit outside the box. One option that might be available to you in certain RV parks would be a hardwired internet connection, such as cable or DSL, similar to what you may have had in your home. This is not going to be available everywhere, but at some larger RV parks, or particularly high-end ones or ones that promote themselves as being a resort, will offer this option where they actually have a hardwired internet option already pulled directly to the site. It may be something that's already available, that's included with your nightly stay, or it might be something that you have to pay a little bit extra for every night, or it may be something that you have to actually set up yourself and have the cable or DSL company come out there and turn on the service and directly bill it to you. So in that situation, it might not be worthwhile unless you're going to be there for a long time. But if you are at a park that offers this and you have a need for some really fast internet, a hardwire connection is going to be very, very fast. So this would certainly be something to consider if you have some work Zoom calls that you need to do, or you want to download a bunch of movies or anything like that. Having that really fast hardwire connection can be a real lifesaver, even if it's just something that you're using short term. Another option is something called a WISP, or Wireless Internet Service Provider. And it's a little bit different than a cellular provider in that basically they are providing internet service, but they're doing it wirelessly via towers that are sometimes installed on buildings or even mountains. They aren't available everywhere. They tend to be more available in areas where it is hard for some reason or another to have provided a wired internet connection like cable or DSL. So a lot of times out in the rural West and places like that, that might be an option. Now, these are usually very, very local providers, so it's going to be something that's just available in that particular city or area. And it's probably maybe a company you haven't heard of before, but if you ask around, you may be able to find that something like that is available. Now, in most of the situations with the WISP, it's something where they are going to have to set up service for you to use it. So it's probably not something that's going to be good for short-term stays. But if you know that you're going to be at an RV park for several months and they are available, the internet can be very fast. So that might be an option. But again, this is something that's probably only going to be best for longer-term stays. Co-working spaces are another great idea for a way to get fast internet for short-term needs. Co-working spaces have really gained a lot of popularity over the past several years. They're available in almost every large city. And basically, it's an office-like setup that people can come in and use for just an hour a day, or maybe even rent a pass for a week or a month or something like that. The advantage to it is you're going to have very high internet. They're going to provide high-speed internet for you. Also, everyone else there is going to be doing the same thing that you are. They're there to work. So it's going to be different than going to use the free internet in a cafe or a restaurant where you're going to have a lot of background noise. These co-working spaces provide individual cubbies, maybe even private rooms that you can go in and shut the door. And again, you're going to have very high-speed internet available to you and your own private area. And these spaces are available all over the country. So they should be pretty easy to find as long as you're in a larger city. Amateur ham radio can actually be a way to help you stay connected. The advantages to it are that it will work just about anywhere. The disadvantages are that it is for amateur use only, so you're really not supposed to be doing any professional type work over it. Also, it's just going to really give you the ability to send emails and do some very basic low data type activities, and it does require some equipment that you have to purchase in order to use it. But if you just need something that's going to help you just do the basic kind of connections while you're traveling and it's going to work anywhere, that might be an option. There's a really big community around this. People are always willing to help new people learn and get set up. So if it is something you're interested in doing, we will have some of those resources that you connect to listed in the guide if you want to learn some more information about that. A lot of us are familiar already with using the public library as an internet source because a lot of them do provide free public Wi-Fi. But what you may not know is that a lot of libraries also have a program where they will actually loan out a mobile hotspot. Now, one catch is that you probably are going to have a library card with that library system, and a lot of them do require a local address. Sometimes you might be able to use a mail forwarding address, but that's not necessarily always the case. But there are some libraries that also have like a national library card that you can use. So if you are going to be in an area for a while and you just need a mobile hotspot for a day or two, look and see if you can get a library card with your local library. It's very easy. I've actually done it at my own library here in Asheville. You just log on and you can rent it. You should ask them, of course, about what provider it is in case you're in an area where you know one provider works better and one maybe doesn't work as well, and how much data comes with it. But if you just need something for a short-term use, this is a very inexpensive, probably free way to do it as long as you can get your hand on that library card. So just ask around at whatever library system is in the city where you're visiting and see if that's an option. Handheld satellite communicators can be an option that will keep you connected pretty much no matter where you are. You've probably heard of the Garmin InReach and other similar products. If you're going to be boondocking or just somewhere that's very, very remote and you don't need a lot of connectivity, then this handheld satellite communicator might be a good option for just helping you stay in touch as far as checking in with people, letting them know you're okay, or letting them have a way to get in touch with you as well. You cannot connect to the internet. You'll just be basically sending very basic text messages, but you can communicate pretty much no matter where you are using one of these devices. So if you're going to be somewhere and you just want to make sure you have a way to check in with people, then a handheld satellite communicator might be the way to go. And the last idea we're going to discuss is basically letting other people do the work for you. This can mean a number of different things. For one thing, if you're trying to do some research, maybe you're trying to do some trip planning, route planning, looking for a place to stay, but you've got a really slow internet connection, but you can go on and post one or two quick questions. Tap into some of your online resources. You may have your own blog or Facebook page that you use, or you may be part of a RV group that talks about different things like this, and you could just go there, post a quick question, and then log back on later and have all the answers for you right there. So that would be one option. Another thing is using a virtual assistant. If you need to do some research or book a reservation or something like that, using a virtual assistant might be an option. There are some people that actually have a contract with a dedicated assistant, but there are also services that you can just hire as needed for just one or two tasks. The other thing is a lot of credit cards actually come with travel planning concierges as a perk. So if you are having a hard time connecting to the internet, but you are able to make a phone call and your credit card offers that service, you could just call them up and ask them to help you with some of that trip planning and see if they are able to help you out with that. And then the other thing is particularly if you're trying to schedule some content or post some content, there are plenty of services that will help you schedule some of that in advance, so that if you know you're going to be gone for a few days somewhere where you're not going to have connection, but you have some posts that you want to be made while you're gone, you can actually schedule that ahead of time and they will be automatically posted at whatever time you choose to have it done. There are all kinds of different services that offer this. We have them listed in our guide, and there's all kinds of different price points too, depending on what your need is. So that would be an option for scheduling things in advance. So as you can see, if you're willing to look beyond the three major ways that people stay connected, then there are some other alternatives that might be an option to you. You have to be a little bit creative and a little bit flexible to use some of these options, but there still certainly are some other ideas for you to stay connected if you're in a pinch. We have a full guide written up on this topic called Thinking Outside the Box, and you can find that on our website at rvmobileinternet.com.
These videos are brought to you by our premium members, our mobile internet aficionados. They make it possible for us to track this news and create these videos. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, or better yet, consider becoming a member yourself.